All right, so I was looking around online. I found this old website. I think it's a OCIR back in the early bug in days, and there's my friends or where shop I worked at. One of their cars. This is the old drag bug right here. It had like a lengthened front end, I believe, on it, or maybe that was a different car. But that's one of precision bug builders. That's the guy who's working with 1225. Yeah, it was then that was before he put the other motor in. I think that was only a 1776 with the turbo, and that's what he was running back then. He had a hard time. He kept on breaking axles, or he'd get a lot of wheel spin. That's a hard thing to fix. Back then, it was really hard to fix. Then there's this bus right here. I'll show you guys in a second. Yeah, there it is. This one came into our shop. And I looked on here. I was like, oh yeah, that's right, when I was there. 1986. This thing went on the show circuit right after it was at our shop. And if I remember right, I think Bob Godfrey painted it. And then it came over to our shop to get lettered. It got the Der Doctor and the Krankenwagen and the crosses put on it at McPeak's shop. I always wonder what happened to this bus. It was like, let me see if I can get it to focus here. It was on the cover of, God, one of the magazines. I don't know which one. I thought it was Hot VWs, but I guess maybe it was VW Trends. I looked at all the different issues, couldn't ever find it again, and it was one of the oldest ones around. I think it was like a 55 or 56, 56, 56, and it was pretty cool because it was one of the oldest ones around at the time. In fact, it was really there was not any other ambulances in the magazines, and you can kind of see here. I remember it came in the shop. It was funny. We used to like Bob Godfrey, and he used to come over, and we used to always, he was one of the painters in the area, and see the semi-force. But I remember right here on this door, there's this big run when it was over at the shop getting lettered, and then he's like, they said, oh no, it's going to the show tomorrow, and I'm like, or 2 days later or something like that, or the magazine shoot, and I'm like, I looked at it in the magazine, and it's like, hey, the run's gone. So they must have went through and recolor sanded it and buffed it and did a bunch of stuff, because I was looking at all the different, I was back then, I was really into perfect looking paint jobs. So I was looking at the paint job going, oh my God, this is that. And Bob used to do the same thing to us. I mean, I'd have a job over there, and I'd put the clear on, and then he'd come by and he'd be like, hey man, what happened there? We used to, yeah, it was just all fun, and still talk to each other all the time over at Carcraft. He still works down there, and it's kind of fun times. Let's see if I can find his car. There it is. Found it. It's so funny. I was looking for it a while back. I couldn't find it, but you can see the Godfrey on the door and the stripe, and being that he didn't have a roof, Carcraft on there. Yeah, it was good old times. We used to hang out. We were talking for an hour. I was over there just a little while ago, and we were just talking about the difference between guys today and last years ago. It's in the parts and different things. Just everything's changed. There's stuff available that's not available now. He's doing like Top Fuel stuff now, where he doesn't mess with V-dubs anymore, really. But still does drag racing. Just kind of get out of the VW thing, because one of the things you'll find out if you're doing drag racing stuff, it's just like there's all these limits. I mean, now it gets so expensive when you get into the really, because the parts are so unavailable for really, really high horsepower stuff. I mean, you can get down to about maybe 12 seconds, without spending a whole lot of money. You can have fun, but the problem is what happens is everybody always wants to do better, then you're constantly one-upping yourself. You're trying to do a little bit more, and what happens, it just becomes so expensive. So that's kind of the bummer about it. That's one of the reasons I never did it back even then. So I was more into just painting stuff like this. He did this paint job, but yeah, I'm sure Richard lettered that. I know Richard lettered it and stuff. Anyway, that's a couple of history lesson there for you guys. I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Please like, share, and subscribe.